Hello. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Sorry, it's a bit on the late side today. Let me go ahead and just switch things over and haha, there we are. Okay. Well, welcome back to yet another MekHQ MegaMek Battletech stream. I'm happy to see you all here. And that's pretty much what we got. So if you weren't here last week, you'll know that we kind of breached a contract because it was not going well. We had a cadre duty where we were going against elite forces, and it was going bad, going very bad. So now we're doing more pirate killing. Today's stream probably won't be too terribly long, but we'll get a couple of things done. We'll see what happens. You know, we're 1 month into our pirate killing. So far, so good. But right now, we have a convoy interdiction, which I don't think I've read out yet. An enemy convoy is on the move, and your orders are simple. Hit them hard and stop at least 50% of their forces from reaching the far edge of the engagement zone. This is a direct strike, not a prolonged engagement. Destroy or cripple the convoy units. With no regard for salvage or escort interference. Speed and overwhelming firepower are your greatest assets. There is no need to concern yourself with minimizing damage or securing the spoils. We do not have the luxury of holding the field, and the enemy reinforcements will arrive quickly. Do not waste time engaging escorts unless necessary. Focus all efforts on neutralizing the convoy itself. Once the job is done, withdraw immediately. No distractions, no delays, no mercy. Execute the raid, cripple their supply line, and get out before the enemy can mount a counterattack. Good. So we have friendly artillery, we have enemy scout mechs, and additional hostile mechs. Isn't that nice? And we have to destroy, what, 50%? Yeah. Yeah, we have to destroy at least 50% of the convoy. What's up, Power? How are you doing, man? Hope that you're doing well today. So we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hold on. I just lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Jeez, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So we only have to kill. You hit a deer today. Holy cow. Are you okay? Are you good? I mean, I'm assuming the deer did not survive. Did you survive? Did the car survive? So we only have to kill 18 of them. Just a nice chill 18. Okay, good. Where I'm from, when you say you hit a deer, that normally means that the deer is gone, the car is gone, and you are very, very bruised up. Did I change my... Hold on. You know, I'm going to try something here. Whoop. Wrong button. Wrong button. Don't need that. I need to go here. There we go. I'm just going to increase the UI size just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, so Alpha Lance, you're actually fine. Bravo. The Grasshopper needs a little bit of love. Why don't we go ahead and make sure all this stuff gets repaired? Like a cool kid. Oh, I forgot that the Victor just got completely obliterated during that last round. So Charlie Lance is going to stay home probably. Is Bravo Land still out and about? They are. Alpha and Bravo are both still out and about. Almost. Well, we got some people to improve their piloting just a little bit. Why don't we take a look? Before I forget too much, we need to promote you to Warrant 3. Okay, great. There's all of that. Let's go forward another day. Good. Alpha and Bravo are home. Whoops. Okay, why aren't you replacing the heatsink? That doesn't make any sense. There we go. Okay. Oh, wait, no, that's the new Victor. That's right. Our old Victor is still just chilling someplace. All right, and then... So I'm thinking that we go ahead and we put Alpha and Bravo into this fight in hopes that they are able to do some damage. Now the Ostra, who all has things like pulse lasers, machine guns, flamers, things like that. The Grasshopper definitely does not. The Awesome kind of does. The Cataphract does. The Orion, no. Warhammer should. Oh, it's the one that doesn't have machine guns. The Grasshopper does not. I am actually tempted to sub in the Crusader for the Grasshopper. Even though it can't jump, actually having machine guns would be nice for somebody to have. You know, the other thing we could do is we could bring one of our light lances with us, but I really don't want to do that. Okay, so tomorrow we fight. So let's go ahead. I think that bringing Alpha and Bravo lances is going to be the move here. So Alpha's front line, Bravo's front line. Oh, so previously what I had said was that the auxiliary and the maneuver forces were bugged. So when you would see the roll in the command center, it would show the same roll twice. I actually went through and I looked through the code, and it is making two rolls. It's just that the way that they've coded it, it only reports the highest roll, and it reports it twice. So it is taking the higher of the two rolls. It's just that it's not reporting both rolls. So it's working. It's just that it's more of a display bug. Which if I actually knew how to write in Java, I would maybe try to help with, but I don't. I don't know how these things work. Target number of 2. I think that we can handle that. Let's reinforce instantly. That leaves us with 2 support points. So on Monday, we should be in a better spot. Okay. No big deal. Let's see what happens here. Start game. We're not going to control the field, so there's no point in deploying recovery units. One day it'll actually load. Here we go. What's the map going to look like? Also, I, again, didn't look at... Okay, cool. So daylight, clear, calm. It's a good place to be. Oof. All right. No cover. No cover at all. Well, I think the smart thing to do is going to be just to get rid of this Crusader and then walk across the north side, which I'm not actually a fan of. I don't want to engage the mechs if I can help it, but I don't think I have a choice here. So it's going to be pretty boring with this center force. We're not going to move around a whole lot because there's no point in moving around very much. The only thing that's really a threat, even a little bit, is their Thunderbolt. And even that, unless it has a really lucky hit, is going to take a while to hurt us. That's a choice. Okay, cool. All right. With all of that being said and done, so a lot of this is just going to be getting those convoy forces, dead, I hope. Because the more I can get out in the next 2 turns, the less I have to worry about reinforcement mechs or my own artillery shooting me or, anything else like that. Not that I don't love to be shot by my own artillery. I mean, that always sounds delightful. Hmm. Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll just blast through the rear of that Crusader and then it just goes away. And then we don't have to worry about it anymore. Which I'd be kind of a really big fan about. The Grasshopper. Can you? Yes, you can probably hit the VTOL. Okay, so it looks like things have happened, and I hope for the best. Okay, so the Awesome into the Growler service truck destroys it. Then the other service truck, it also destroys that, which is pretty neat. The Vindicator misses the Bulldog medium truck. Unfortunately, the Orion at the Lewis Skimmer immobilizes it and then also destroys it. The Warhammer firing at the Heavy Hover Shuttle or the Hover Shuttle destroys that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 so far out of the required 18. Almost a quarter of the way there. The Crusader firing at the Crusader hits with an SRM-6. 3 missiles hit going into the right leg, the rear left torso, and the rear center torso. Then a medium laser also hits the rear center torso. It's down to 1 armor. The Cataphract into the Crusader hits the left leg, left torso, rear with a medium pulse. The Longbow hits the left arm, and the PPC goes into the right arm. Then the Thunderbolt at the Ostrock hits with 5 LRMs, doing 5 to the right torso. The Grasshopper misses the VTOL completely. The Demolisher puts a Gauss rifle round through the Bulldog medium truck, missed the firefighting ATV, then puts 1 round into the rotor of the VTOL. So it's down to 1 armor there. The Ostrak hits the Route Master Heavy Hover Shuttle or Hover Shuttle and destroys that. Then it destroys the other Hover Shuttle as well. So that puts us to at least, what, 6? 6 dead out of 18 that we need. So we're 1/3 of the way there. The J. Edgar hits the already dead Hover Shuttle. The Crusader takes 40 damage, falls down, takes 5 to the right arm, 2 to the right leg, and the pilot takes a hit. All right, and then we kick it in the left arm, critting on the LRM, which is great. All right, we lost initiative, but we have destroyed 7 of them. Just a casual 7. I do expect that Crusader to probably get up and run away. I don't think it's crippled just yet, but we'll see what happens. So the Awesome can stand still. The Vindicator can also stand still. I do want to get the Jagger moving in the opposite direction. I'm hoping that the Jagger can come down and cut these guys off. The Grasshopper, we will also get moving in the opposite direction. The Orion, we can just bring to right there. Warhammer, we can bring out to a place where it can actually do something, maybe. And then the Crusader can also come down and start moving across the north. The Demolisher can probably just chill. Well, the Crusader did manage to get up and walk away just a little bit. Okay. So the artillery actually helped us out for once and kills the SRM foot platoon, but doesn't do anything else. So I think the smart move here is going to be to twist. Put a medium pulse into one. An ERPPC into another, maybe. ERPPC into another. And then a couple of streaks into another. And we'll do a small pulse just for good measure. We'll see if our Awesome can't do just a little bit of work today. We'll work on maybe trying to get this Crusader out of action. That way we just don't have to worry about it. And then we can move on. Because right now, if we walk away from the Crusader, it's going to walk up behind us and do bad things. I don't think it's worth it to dedicate rounds to the VTOL, especially when I can just turn like this and have shots on so many other things, like a dump truck. Who doesn't want to shoot a dump truck? So we'll take the easy wins here, I think. All right, now what happens? So the awesome misses one of the growlers, misses another growler, hits the third growler and destroys it, and then hits the fourth growler and destroys that as well. The Vindicator immobilizes the Buffalo, and then the front is down to 3 internal structure, but it's still alive. The Orion puts a medium laser into the left leg of the Crusader and a medium laser into the right torso of the Crusader, but misses with the AC-10. Cataphract puts a medium pulse into the right torso, ERPPC into the right torso, medium pulse into the center torso, and the longbow into the left leg. But the Crusader is still cruising. Warhammer hits with one of the ERPPCs into the dump truck, down to 9 armor and stuns the crew, but doesn't destroy it. The Thunderbolt firing at the Grasshopper missed. Our Crusader firing at the dump truck hits with 9 LRMs, doing 5 to the rear and 4 to the left side. The Demolisher then firing into the Brunel puts 2 Gauss rifle rounds into it. The front is down to 6 internal structure, but it's still going. Then the Ostrak firing at the E-Gray ATV destroys it. Destroys the Bulldog medium truck with a large laser. The enemy Crusader puts a medium laser into the right arm of the Cataphract. Misses with everything else. The Jagger missed. The Grasshopper missed. The Crusader, after taking 40 damage, falls down again, takes 5 to the center torso, 2 to the left torso, but the pilot takes no damage. Okay. Well, that, as they say, is that. The pirate convoy is currently sitting at 23 out of 35 units remaining because we have destroyed 12 of them. So we only have to destroy 6 more. We're getting about a third of the way there each round. So we'll have the J. Edgar keep on coming over here. Even if the Jagger would have skidded, I would not have cared at all. Okay, so the Demolisher can stay there for right now. The Ostrak, honestly, gotta close the distance with some other stuff. Grasshopper can go down like this. So even when the Growlers try to run, hopefully they just kind of run into all of this mess. The Warhammer. And the Crusader. I think I might just leave the cataphract all on its own. I think it'll do fine. Kind of thought that might happen. Oh no, their recon mechs have arrived. What are we going to do? I'm so scared. I'm so scared of their, what was it, a wasp? And just the wasp? Is that it? The horror. They sent a wasp at me. Oh no. Hmm. And then we'll start with a grasshopper. Unfortunately, our friends in the north, there's not a lot that they can do just right now, and we've done too good of a job of cleaning up the northeast side of the map. But hopefully, they can just keep on trundling along and then eventually be able to do something. I do fear that this Crusader has made a terrible mistake, though. Yes, I know the crew is dead. Yes, it's probably bad form to shoot at a vehicle where the crew is dead. However, the mission is for me to destroy the things, not just kill the crews. Because if it's still there with a dead crew, all you do is you pop a new crew into it, and then suddenly they're good to go again. We're not going to have that. So the awesome puts an ERPPC into the Lesseps, into the front, injuring the commander. Another one into the Lesseps, hitting the left side, damaging the motive system. Then a medium pulse into the Buffalo, a streak into the Buffalo, killing the crew. Then a small pulse into the front of the Buffalo. It's down to 5 internal structure. The Grasshopper misses everything. The Vindicator puts a PPC into the Growler, destroying it. And then LRM into another Growler, destroying that one. Then a medium pulse into another Growler, destroying that one. The Orion missed. The Warhammer destroys the Lesseps in the north. Then the Crusader just adds insult to injury. The Cataphract detonates the LRM ammo of the Crusader, destroying that. The Demolisher puts a Gauss rifle round into the front of Lesseps number 2, and then a Gauss rifle through the Pitbull, destroying that. Then the Ostrock destroys the Buffalo, and the Pike misses. The J. Edgar actually hits something, although I think that the Growler number 3 was already dead, so oh well. Lastly, the Crusader firing at the Cataphract hits with a medium laser to the center torso and a machine gun to the left leg. Lastly, the Grasshopper puts a large laser into the left leg of the Awesome and missed with everything else. Whoo, buddy. Exciting times. We should be about to our win requirement. So the convoy... Oh, we actually we got there. So we will play out this turn and then we will close it out. So we'll go ahead and say /victory. There's a cat hair on the mic. There we go. All right, so we'll see what else we can do here. Maybe, just maybe, we can do some more. So we'll back up there to try to force the Grasshopper to come out of the woods, because I don't feel like digging him out of the woods. The J. Edgar can definitely come down here kind of like this. So it probably seems like this entire lance that's up in the northeast, it probably seems like they didn't really do a whole lot. However, I would argue that they were actually critical in this going as smoothly as it did, because without them, that Crusader could have come down and harassed all the crap I had in the center from the northeast side. And a lot of those units that were just chilling up here, like there weren't many, but there were a couple, they could have just happily left and cruise down the east side of the map without any harassment at all. Okay, then let's just make sure that they can't take this home with them. And then up towards the top of the map, we'll dump a couple of PPCs into some dump trucks. The Vindicator can hopefully hurt this Growler just a little bit. One of those things should hit. The Orion isn't going to be able to do a whole lot. The Warhammer, we'll go ahead and just finish off that dump truck right there. The Crusader might as well just yeet some LRMs towards a Wasp. And then the cataphract can take it easy. Okay, we'll try to take out both of the Lesseps in the north. Then maybe the Jaeger can actually hit something. Who knows? Lastly, we'll see if this Grasshopper can land a couple of hits on the Wasp. Doesn't matter because who cares? It's just, the principle of the thing. So the Awesome into the Buffalo destroys the Buffalo. Then firing at the Lesseps hits one of the Lesseps with an ERPPC. It's down to 3 armor after getting hit by 2 ERPPCs. On the front anyways. Then the Wasp into the Grasshopper hits with 1 Deadfire SRM, doing 3 damage to the center torso. The Vindicator hits a Growler with an ERPPC, destroying it. The Warhammer firing at the Brunel hits with an ERPPC and destroys that. The Crusader firing at the Wasp missed. The Thunderbolt firing at the Awesome missed. Then the enemy Grasshopper firing at the Awesome hits with a medium laser into the left leg. Missed with everything else. The Demolisher hits that back Lesseps and destroys that after going through the left side with its Gauss rifle. The Ostrock into the front Lesseps. It also hits the front Lesseps and destroys one's already dead. And then the Jaeger destroys that Growler that it was shooting at, thankfully. Our Grasshopper into the Wasp hits with a medium laser into the left arm, critting on the upper arm, then a medium laser to the left torso, large laser into the left arm, destroying the left arm, then destroying the left torso after transferring some damage to it. Like you do. And then we're going to kick him. And then we destroy his right leg, because that's what you do. Not that we can salvage it, but it makes me feel better. And that was victory for us. Don't need the GIF. We'll hold on to the salvage file. So at the end of the day, we destroyed 24 of them. In the convoy, we destroyed 23 out of the required 18. So we definitely met our objective. We did fine. We did just fine. Unfortunately, the enemy controlled the field, but oh man, that is beautiful right there. That makes you feel good. That makes you feel good. Holy cow, look at all of the bronze stars. Yes, absolutely padding some kill lists. So Sharptooth gets a bronze star. Olga, who we need to get a call sign for. Youngster, would you like your name to be Olga? Olga gets a bronze star. Power, you got a bronze star. Congratulations, buddy. Hellbore got a bronze star. And then the entire crew of the Demolisher also got a bronze star. Jeez, oh Pete. All right, hold on. Olga, where are you? Oh, hold on. That would make you a Demolisher commander. Do you want to be a Demolisher commander? You definitely don't have to be a Demolisher commander. I can find you a mech pilot. Otherwise, you can be a heroic You can be a heroic vehicle crew with a gunnery of 1. You love the AC-20. So, you know what? Hold on. Let's do this. We're going to do 2 different things. So we got the Hunchback coming in. That Hunchback is going to go probably into Charlie Lance. Oh, there we go. All right. So for right now, how would you like to pilot a rifleman? The Demolisher, so that's actually the Gauss rifle Demolisher. So it's holding on to 2 Gauss rifles that was just punching holes into everything that it saw. I know, but you know what? It's doing great. This Demolisher is putting in the work because this crew. Let's take a look. Can I look? Okay, so this crew so far has 5 kills with its 2 happy little Gauss rifles. It doesn't have any mech kills, but great. Okay, so you will now be the commander of a Gauss rifle Demolisher crew. Congratulations. Nickname. All right, we now have Lieutenant Senior Grade Olga, the youngster Kalajang. Congratulations. Okay, well, that was a resounding success. Yeah, you gotta love going against the pirates that don't know what they're doing. Everybody came home, which is great. Don't worry, you're if you go the way of most of my vehicle crews, don't worry, you'll be dead soon. But you'll get a nice payout. Oh dear. I am out of Gauss rifle ammo. That is unfortunate. Where's my Gauss rifle? Gauss rifle ammo. We need to make this like 1,000%. And actually, I think I went through on another campaign, didn't do it on this one. We're going to make all of our ammo 1,000%. Whoop, not 10,000, 1,000. It might sound crazy, it might sound mad, but otherwise you run into stuff like this where suddenly you're out of ammo. And it's kind of annoying. Ferrofibrous, we definitely need more of that. Let's see here. I also need to get some like LRM Inferno ammo. Because when you're dealing with infantry, Inferno ammo and cluster ammo both do wonderful, wonderful things. No, not 2,000. Just one should be fine. The machine gun ammo is the exception to the rule, though, because if you go through 100% of your machine gun ammo, what are you doing? What were you doing the entire time? Did you stand at the back of the map and yeet machine gun ammo or machine gun fire at them? Because I'm pretty sure that's what you would have to do to go through all of your machine gun ammo. I would actually love to hear a story of if anyone has ever somehow managed to go through all of their machine gun ammo. What kind of mad game were you playing? Was it a 300 round game? Because I'm pretty sure that's what it would have to be. Okay, there's all of that. I do want to go ahead and just for funsies, so why don't we go ahead and get some fragmentation LRM? Yeah. No, don't add in bulk. We'll get some fragmentation and we'll get, ooh, we should get some swarm. Great. SRM 6. Mayhaps. We'll get some fragmentation on this as well. We'll get some Inferno. No tandem charge. I refuse. Absolutely refuse. Comrade Gary, thank you so much for resubscribing. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. The number of people who are just so kind. I can't believe it. Okay. I don't remember. What does acid ammo do? Does that... Now I have to look it up. Oh, so essentially it does more damage and eats through armor, but it's just less accurate. Okay, that's fine. That is a-okay fine. Well, Comrade Gary, if you would like to have a pilot, just let me know, and we will hook you up with a pilot. Let's get GM mode off and then move on with our life here. Oh, so I promised you guys that I would talk about support points and how I use them. So since I have at least a couple of people watching right now, I'm going to go ahead and go through a little bit of that right now. So one big thing that I find anyways, or that I didn't understand for a long time, was how are support points generated? How does the game figure out how many support points you can have? And then how do you use them? So the maximum number of support points that you have is determined by a couple of different things. Number one, it is determined by how many transport admins you have. Number two, it is determined by who your employer is and what your standing is with them. If you are employed by somebody and they love you and you are just the best thing since sliced bread to them, then they will give you all of the support points and they will support you as much as possible, because support points are a representation of your employer helping you out along the way. So transport admin, how much does your employer like you, and what kind of a mission are you running? So if you have a garrison duty or a cadre duty or something like that where you're fairly stagnant, you are more likely to have just a pile of support points. You know, those are the missions where you can have like 30 support points just sitting around. But if you have a like a guerrilla mission, then you might have 0 or 2 support points no matter what you do. And that's just how it goes. And every week on Monday, it starts with your most skilled transport admin and it makes a roll. And it determines, do you get a support point or not? And then if you hit the cap for how many support points you can get in a period of time, then it stops rolling once you hit that cap and you move on with your life. As for how I typically use it or how you use your support points, primarily it's with reinforcing. So, you know, when you saw me do a reinforcement for the convoy interdiction, you utilize support points for that. And occasionally throughout your missions, you'll get the opportunity to buy units for support points. So if you're not using your support points and they're just sitting there withering away, then that can be an opportunity for you to be able to use some of them to be able to obtain units for the cost of support points, so you're not buying them with C-bills. So that's the really quick and dirty of how do you get support points, how does the game determine what your maximum is, and how do you use your support points. If you don't know how many support points you have, it is in 2 places. The briefing room down at the bottom, support points, I have 2. Or you can go to the area of operations map where you can see 2 support points. Voila. And that's it. That's all I got for you. But let's keep exploring a little bit here. That was some terrible rolling. Oofta. Okay. Yeah. No, I actually did not know that at all. How do you do that? Do you just turn on GM mode and then No, it doesn't show you there. Oh. Okay. Yeah, so 40% odds that something will generate. Interesting. Very interesting. And a lot of that's going to be based primarily on what kind of a mission you have and then what the morale of the enemy is. So again, if you're on a guerrilla mission or if you're on a planetary assault, something like that, and the enemy is advancing, your likelihood of generating a scenario as soon as you deploy is going to be like 75%. The other thing is, even in StratCon, so in old Against the Bot, it used to be that on Mondays, it's either Monday or Sunday, on Mondays, it would roll for your scenarios. And so it was very predictable. On Monday, if you were getting a mission, you would get it on a Monday. And in StratCon, it appears that that's not the case. However, it still actually does the rolls on Mondays, but then it has a delaying function as well. So it'll roll for the mission on Monday, and then it'll roll a d6 to see when that mission will actually, or the scenario will generate for how far forward. I could see them working on that. I would guess that would probably be around like 50.13 or 50.14. Necro Bob, how's it going, man? Thank you so much for joining tonight. You missed us completely trouncing a pile of convoy units with the pirates. It was not fair to them. Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy that you found it helpful. I'm sorry that there isn't more for you. Oh, good. Okay, so, Captain, I've received word from Allied Command. The Op4 has issued an official combat challenge. Naturally, we've been called on to handle the dirty work. We should review our forces and decide who to send in. Be warned, though, Captain, there are rules, and we are expected to follow them. We can only deploy ground forces, no dropships. Allied Command explicitly said that, by the way. We're limited to a force of 4 combat elements. They get to deploy just one formation. So do we. That's how this works. It should go without saying, but we're forbidden from bringing reinforcements. That includes auxiliaries. Cool. So if you have not seen these, if you have not seen one of these before, imagine getting a Bronze Star for lighting up a bunch of logistics vehicles. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like getting a Bronze Star for lighting a bunch of firecrackers and walking away. Anyways, so if you've never seen this before, it's kind of like the old duel missions, but essentially the enemy brings their very best mechs, you bring your very best mechs, and may the best man win. And whoever wins, it significantly influences the morale of the enemies. But Bob, thank you. I'm happy you were able to take a look at that stuff, and I'm happy that you found it helpful. I'm sorry that there isn't more there right now. Every time I think about making more, I get busy, and then it doesn't happen. And part of it, too, is just trying to figure out how to format everything so it makes sense. Oh, that's adorable. That's absolutely adorable. So their best is a bunch of 3-4 pilots and a single 2-3 pilot, bringing a couple of Crusaders, a militia mech, and an Orion. Cool. A combat challenge has been issued through official channels. Deploy one and only one of your forces to fight on our behalf. The results of this duel will significantly impact morale. The victor controls the field, and we will be the one standing when the dust settles. Destroy or rout 95% of the enemy forces. Cool. That is in 4 days. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move a couple of things around. That should work. That should work just fine. Still bring the Cataphract, the Awesome, the Ostrak, and the Rifleman, and we'll see what happens. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I'm hoping that things go well. So I'm not going to do any more exploring while that official duel is out there, just because I don't really want to. Uh-oh. Who got pregnant? Oh. All right, that's fine. When did I get a heavy tracked APC? I don't remember getting it. It doesn't mean that I didn't do it, but I just don't remember it. All right, now it is time for our official challenge. All right, so we'll deploy Alpha Lance. Should be good to go. Let's see if we can get away from dusk dawn. Okay, there we go. So some light snowfall, daylight in Flood Valley, and it's minus 40 degrees outside. Here we go. It's just so adorable that they brought a militia mech. That's adorable. Ooh. Oh, I like this map. I like it. This is a really interesting map. This would be a really great map for a pile of jumpy mediums, because you can hide in these little valleys, and unless the enemy is across the valley from you, it essentially negates any of the advantages of range. I like it. That is pretty neat. Oops. Thought that was a rifleman. Oh well. That'll be fine. So we win initiative on this first round. No, don't sprint. Don't do that. That's annoying. Yeah, that's super annoying. Okay, well, cool. I think everything is going to be out of... Oh, no. Got shots on a Crusader. Well, we missed. But remember, friends, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Lost initiative this time. Ooh, this is actually rough because I need things that can jump, and nobody can jump. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Hmm. Well, now all I have to do is hope that they close the distance with me, and then I just don't have to worry about any of these things. Because I appear to be a little stuck. All right, one of our ERPPCs finally makes contact with the Crusader in the left torso. They have still won the initiative. Yeah, because I can't do 4 levels of elevation change. So I am stuck. I'm super stuck. Sure, there's a way to climb down. I just don't know what it is. That's what happens when you don't know the rules super well. Well, we will just keeping on here, hoping for the best. Eventually, this Orion is going to get within range, and we'll be able to do something with our riflemen. Fortunately, power in the Ostrak is going to be able to close the distance a little bit. So our awesome hits with 2 PPCs into the Crusader. One goes in the left arm, one to the right torso. The Militia Mech misses. The Cataphract puts a PPC into the center torso of the Crusader, but misses the Militia Mech. Then the... Yes. Yes, you are in Ostrak. I don't remember what you were in before, but you're in Ostrak now. Congratulations. Crusader stays standing, though. What were you in before? I don't remember. Oh, that's right. So I took you out of the Marauder because the Ostrak is just a little bit better. As soon as I can refit the Marauder to have double heat sinks and ERPPCs, then you'll go back into the Marauder. It's waiting on a refit, though. Yeah. Yeah. You can let loose with the AC5 and APPC and be heat neutral, I think. But you do anything more than that and you start getting warm. If you let loose with everything, then you're practically rolling a shutdown. So you'll get the Marauder back when it gets a refit. But for right now, you are in this happy little Ostrak with 2 ER larges, 2 medium lasers, and SRM4 with a small amount of armor. I think this ends up having a fairly similar amount of armor to the Marauder. All right, the Militia Mech misses are awesome. Lands both the PPCs into the Crusader, hitting the left torso and the left arm. That left arm is down to 0 armor. The Cataphract lands a PPC into the other Crusader, into the left leg, and a longbow into the right arm. Then the enemy Crusader hits with 5 of the 15 LRMs into the Cataphract, doing 5 to the left arm. The Crusader, both Crusaders took greater than 20 damage. The back Crusader stays standing. The front Crusader takes a tumble, falls onto the right side, doing 5 to the right arm and 2 to the right leg, and the pilot takes a hit, which I am super cool with. Something tells me this front Crusader is in for a bad day, but it just doesn't know it yet. So the Awesome hits with all 3 PPCs into that front Crusader, hitting the right torso, left torso, and the right leg. The Orion hits the Ostrak going into the left arm with an AC-10. It's down to 8 internal structure. Then a medium laser hits the center torso. Medium laser hits the right torso, but misses with the LRM. The Cataphract firing at the Crusader hits with the PPC on the center torso. Then the Longbow 10 hits the left arm. The Ostrak puts puts the ER PPC into the right arm. Medium laser into the head. The pilot takes a hit. ER large misses, but hits with 3 of the 4 SRMs, doing 2 to the left leg, 2 to the left arm, and 2 to the right torso. Then that back Crusader lets loose with some LRMs, hits with 9 dead fires into the Cataphract, doing 5 damage to the right leg, 5 to the right torso, 5 to the right arm, and 3 to the center torso. The Rifleman misses with both of the Ultra AC5s. The front Crusader took 40 damage and stays standing. Oofda. Hopefully, we can take the Orion down a notch this round. The Awesome hits with 2 PPCs into that front Crusader, hitting the center torso and the left torso. The enemy Orion hits the Ostrak again with the AC-10 into the right torso, but misses with the LRM. The Cataphract firing at that front Crusader hits with the PPC into the left arm. Then the Longbow also goes into the left arm, destroying it. After getting a through armor crit, it looks like. The Ostrak going into the Orion. Power, you're doing me dirty. You're missing on 6s, bud. So, missed with both of the ER larges, hits with only 1 medium laser into the left arm. The Rifleman only hits with 1 of the AC5s going into the left torso. The Crusader took 40 damage, takes a fall, falls onto the front, doing 5 to the left torso and 2 to the right arm, but the pilot avoids any damage. We won initiative, which is pretty neat. All right, it's time to get warm since hitting is on a 4. I think that we should be able to manage that, I hope. So the Awesome puts 1, 2, 3 PPCs into that front Crusader, hitting the center torso, right arm, and right torso. Then the Orion firing at the Ostrak. Oof, it hits the center torso, getting a through armor crit on the engine. Then a medium laser into the right leg and a medium laser into the left leg. Then lands 2 Deadfire SRMs on the Ostrak, doing 3 to the left torso and 3 to the left arm. The Cataphract on the Crusader puts a PPC into the right arm, destroying it, transferring 7 to the right torso, but misses with the Longbow. The Ostrak puts ER large into the left torso of the Orion, a medium laser into the right arm, another ER large into the right arm, medium laser into the left arm, and lands 3 of the 4 SRMs, doing 2 to the right arm, left leg, and left torso. Then the Rifleman hits with a large laser into the right torso, Ultra AC5 into the left leg, large laser into the left arm, and the AC5 into the right arm. The Ostrak took 20 damage, stays standing. The Orion took 40 damage, stays standing. The Crusader took 40 damage and also stays standing. So the Orion hits the Ostrak, doing 15 damage to the left leg. The Ostrak hits the right leg of the Orion, doing 12 damage to the right leg. Both of them stay standing. Hmm. All right, the Orion firing at the Rifleman missed. The Awesome firing at the MegaMek hits with a PPC to the left torso, PPC to the front left leg, and another PPC to the front left leg, critting on the environmental ceiling and the lower leg. The Cataphract puts PPC into the center torso, critting on the engine, which catastrophically fails and explodes. So there goes the MegaMek. The Ostrak puts an ER large into the Orion's left leg, a medium laser into the rear right torso, a medium laser into the left leg, and then 2 SRMs going into the rear center torso and rear right torso. The Rifleman hits the right leg with a large laser of the Orion, AC5 into the left leg, missed with a large laser, and AC5 into the left torso. The Orion took 40 damage but stays standing. Fortunately, we can still kick him. And so we kick the left leg of the Orion. It's down to 9 internal structure, but he stays standing once again. The Awesome's at 8. The Ostrak is at 6. The Orion is at 6. Okay. And we won the initiative. Oops. So the Orion firing at the Ostrak hits with the medium laser into the right arm. The Awesome firing at the Crusader hits with the PPC to the right arm. It's down to 2 internal structure. Then a PPC into the right leg. Critting on the lower leg. It's down to 14 internal structure. The Cataphract puts a PPC into the head of the Crusader. It's down to 2 internal structure, but the pilot has taken 2 hits and now blacks out. Then we put a Longbow 10 into the right leg. It's down to 4 internal structure. The Ostrak puts an ER large into the Orion's rear left torso, a medium laser into the rear right torso, critting on the AC-10, and then a medium laser into the right arm, critting on the lower arm. The Rifleman puts some rounds into the Orion, a large laser to the left leg, an Ultra AC-5 into the left leg, destroying the left leg, transferring to the left torso rear, then a large laser into the rear torso of the right, then AC-5 into the right leg. So the Orion automatically falls because it doesn't have a leg to stand on, and then falls on the left side, doing 5 damage to the left arm, 3 damage to the left torso. The pilot avoids taking damage. The Crusader automatically falls because the pilot is unconscious, falls onto its right side, taking 5 damage to the right torso, destroying the right torso, transferring to the center torso, and then the pilot takes another hit because he's unconscious. Poor guy. Excellent. Most excellent. So we punch the Orion in the left leg that transfers to the left torso. It's down to 7 internal structure, and we crit on the LRM. It is starting to look more positive. Much, much more positive, even though we literally can't move. And then we punch the Orion in the head, doing 6 damage to the head, critting on the head, causing that pilot to black out. Overall, not a bad run. Oops. Forgot to torso twist again. Oops. Well, the Awesome gets a hit on the gyro of the Crusader. The center torso is down to 7 internal structure. Then the Cataphract puts a PPC through the head of the Crusader, destroying the Crusader. And the Ostrak, because Power is a madman, puts a medium laser through the head of the Orion, destroying the Orion. And yeah, they're down to 1 mech. And I have 1 mech that can even kind of walk over there. Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, it was an easy shot. You were at point blank range against a blacked out pilot. If you missed that one, I would have been very sad. So we land all 3 of our ERBPCs from the Awesome into the Crusader, hitting the right arm, right torso, and the right arm. Then the Cataphract puts a PPC into the left arm, destroying the left arm, and the Longbow 10 into the right leg. He took over 40 damage, but stays standing. This poor guy, he just needs to surrender. We won initiative, though, which is pretty great. And he went back into hiding, so that's nice. This dude's like, every time I come out from behind this rock, I just get shot. I'm not coming out from behind the rock, man. I'm staying behind the rock. It's my safe space. So the Ostrak puts an ER large into the right arm of the Crusader. It's down to 2 internal structure. Definitely won the initiative. This is just a matter of time before we actually kill this guy and to see how many pieces are left. Okay, so now we put an ER large into the right arm, destroying the right arm, transferring to the right torso. Then we get another hit on the right torso. It's down to 5 internal structure. Okay, so an ER large goes into the right torso, destroying the right torso, transferring to the center torso. A medium laser goes into the center torso. ER large goes into the right leg, critting with no effect. Then we hit with 2 SRMs, one going to the right leg, one going to the center torso. The Crusader does put in 2 dead fires, one hitting the left leg, the other one hitting the center torso. The Crusader took over 20 damage, but stays standing. Whoops. Well, here's for hoping. All right, so the Awesome hits the left torso, critting on the Deadfire ammo, which is empty, then puts another PPC into the left torso, destroying the left torso, transferring the center torso. This dude doesn't have a left torso or a right torso anymore. But missed the third PPC. Then the Cataphract hits with a PPC into the left torso, transferring to the center torso. The Longbow goes into the center torso. Then we put an ER large into the center torso, critting on a gyro, and medium laser into the right leg, critting on the lower leg, medium laser into the center torso, destroying the center torso. There's no one left. So I think that we won. Good deal. So we'll have 2 mechs that we can easily salvage, and then 2 more that are scrap. Which should be just totally fine. Totes fine. And the only thing that actually took any damage was the Ostrak. Cool. Good deal. Yes, I destroyed a route at 95%. I promise you. Promise you I did that. Whoops. Heavy vehicle and heavy. Well, we'll do that. We'll take the Orion of the Crusader home. The other Crusader can go to our employers, and they can figure out what to do with that husk. Ah, good. You have completely broken the Op4. Holy cow. We did that in 33 days. It was a 6-month contract that we did in 33 days. Okay. Neat. I did it. So we'll advance 1 day. And then end day of the contract is 27th. So complete mission. It was a success. So yeah, as soon as you click on complete mission and you hit success, then you get that full payout. So right now, you can't see it right now, but I am at 41 million, about 42 million C-bills. Click that. They'll pay me 500,000 C-bills for their people. We'll see if anybody wants to leave, and they don't. Everybody gets a participation award. Everybody... We killed a lot of people. More participation awards. But anyways, so now we are at 61,308,000 C-bills. Yes. So yes, it is. Because morale. When was morale implemented? I think morale was implemented in 50.06. Hey, thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. But yeah, 50.06, I think, is when, or 50.10. Yeah. And so if you go to the glossary, maybe this is something I should cover. So if you go to the glossary and you scroll down to morale, okay, so it's new since the last milestone, which means I think 50.10 is when it came out. So each month you roll on what the morale of the enemy forces are. And this kind of goes through how those rolls are made and all that fun stuff. But if you break the morale of the enemy and you are in a contract that can have an early conclusion, like pirate hunting, like I think planetary raid, there's a few others that you can have early conclusions on. Things that you cannot have early conclusions on are things where like you're just chilling. So cadre duty, garrison duty, things like that, where you're just like chilling, waiting for things to happen. Those cannot have early conclusions. But if you completely route the enemy, then you can have an early conclusion. And if you win through routing, then, it's not there. Any of the objectives that you didn't complete are assumed to have been completed successfully. So unless you have previously had a failure of any of those objectives, then it's a success. If you had any failures of any required objectives, then it would be a partial success. And so if you conclude that mission early, you get your full payout. Like, life is good. Life is great. So with that, I'm going to take about 30 seconds to a minute and go just refresh my beverage and I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. I will be right back. Okay. Power, you're on a 10 stream streak. Thank you so much for hanging out for the last 10 streams. I really appreciate it. That is awesome. All right. Well, with that, where are we anyways? We're on Overton. Okay, cool. So there are a few things that we need to do, like repair things. And there's one other thing that I do want to get done, which is I want to finally refit this Marauder. I think I want to do the 5D because then you can jump. Yeah, there's exactly one Marauder with jets, if I remember correctly. It's the 5D. The 5DC might also have jets. Okay, so the 5D and the 5DC. But this, I think it just has a... Yeah, it's a command mech. So it's got the extra seat on it. Or we put you in the 5CS, which is just better in every way. It just doesn't have jets. And that's awful tempting. Because then that gets you the longbow 10, it gets you 2 ERP PCs, gets you some armor. We might just do that. Because I don't know if I want to put a Gauss rifle on the head where, you know, things happen and then it explodes. I think I'd rather do this. Yeah, we'll do the 5CS. Not yet. The rest of the lance does not yet jump. The Marauder is actually probably going to go into a non-jumping lance. So, yeah, it won't really matter too much. Okay, we're going to do the 5CS. So we'll acquire and use. And then, ooh, yeah, I'll take it on a 6. That'll be pretty great. Yes, great. So when we finally get the refit kit, it'll be a 44-day refit. So we're going to take a couple of months to just sit back, chill at home, relax. Now, what kind of a hiring hall? Overton doesn't have a hiring hall. Very well. That answers that question. Why don't we go to Capella? I think we go to Capella, and then we can kind of go from there. Who hired us on this last one? Was it the Free Worlds League? No, it's the Federated Commonwealth. I could go to St. Ives. Or Sarna. I think we go to Capella, and then we can kind of reset from there. So 30 days to get there. We'll miss one contract window, but that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and do this and confirm. We'll mothball all the things. Hey, look, our standing with the Mercenary Review Board went up by 3.17, so we're still C. So we have gotten almost half of our standing back with the Mercenary Review Board after that that mishap, you might say, with the last contract. Yeah, sure. That last contract went so great. Absolutely nothing went wrong. And nothing could possibly have been anything but perfect. Almost there. Just making our way. How am I doing on my HR? Not great. Okay, cool. Okay. Oof. It's going to take 100 days for that refit kit to get here. We're going to be chilling for a while. Oh. We'll go forward 12 days. Should let us get most of the rest of the things that we need. Well, between getting all that supplies, jumping to Capella, and getting the refit kit, our funds have gone right back to where they were when that contract ended. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Well, I guess we're still ahead by about 1 million C-bills, but still. Oofta. Might be time to sell a couple of things, like, I don't know, a catapult? No, we can hold on to the catapult. Oh no. All right, we lost some people. Who all did we lose? We lost a soldier. We lost a vehicle crew, a couple of vehicle crews, couple soldiers, and one more vehicle crew. Well, that happens, I guess. Moving on. Let's go ahead and take a look to see who or what vehicles now need crews. Okay. Not too bad. And then for soldiers, whoops. Oof. Which one is it that needs love? There it is. Okay, so it's not that one. All right, rifle foot platoon. That's who needs some love. Okay, let's take a look at the personnel market because we need more soldiers naturally. And we'll go ahead and get all the crew members we can. Let's go ahead and get some more aerospace pilots and conventional aircraft crews. What do I have for mech warriors? Okay, how far off are you from being able to be a 3-3 pilot? 4 experience. You need 4 whole experience. Hold on, wait. Okay, my awesome pilot is now over 100 XP. So the question now becomes, do we hold off a little bit longer? So sniper halves all range penalties. It's pretty nice, but it's 190 XP. So we got a little ways to go for that. Or do we go ahead and do range master long, which swaps out short range with long range? I know, especially when you're talking about like ERP PCs and stuff like that. Oh, buddy, it does great things. I'm really tempted to do that. Oh, I could see that. I've never thought about trying to do Rangemaster AC-20s. That's just kind of dirty. All right, I'm thinking we do Rangemaster long. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Boop. Okay, we got Rangemaster long. And then after that, we can start working on making them this one like a 1-1 or a 1-2 pilot, which will just take a little bit of XP. Yeah. I thought about using extreme range brackets, but haven't brought myself to do it. I think we'll go ahead and quick train you. And that way you can start working on making all the things better. You should have enough. Yeah, now you can be a 3-3 pilot, which is pretty neat. You can also be a 3-3 pilot, which should be neat. That's what I thought it was. Okay, cool. Make you a 2-2 pilot. Do you have enough for piloting? Not quite. You need 4 more XP. Okay. Oh, that's right. I just looked. Oof. So let's go ahead. Oh, that's gross. Let's go ahead and try to make some of our scouts a little bit, more scouty. Maybe. And it would be great, actually, if I could have somebody else like this one. So now I can put them, even though they're kind of crap at sensor operations, they're not horrendous. But now I can put them into a light and put them into one of my scouting lances. Well, like the scout lance. 6-9. Huh. Why is the panther there? The panther sucks at being a scout. Okay, let's bring the panther down here. Phoenix Hawk should go up there. Which Phoenix Hawk was that? Okay, good. And I have a 1D that's just sitting around. Ooh, buddy, yeah. Let's do it. Where's that crab? There it is. And we'll assign as a pilot to the Phoenix Hawk and put you into the Scout Lance as well. Okay, cool. So that gets me 696, 696, 696, and 696. Good deal. And then 914, 812, 8, 812, and 812. Good deal. One day that assassin will arrive. And that will be a very happy day. So we'll go ahead and mothball some things, kind of get them out of the way for right now, so I'm not paying for maintenance and a bunch of other stuff. You can go into that Panther. There we go. Oh, so for recovery after a mission, my favorite is actually the Buffalo Engineering Support Vehicle. Absolute favorite. Because it is a 70-ton vehicle, so it can drag 70 tons, and it has 2 lift hoists, which means that it can carry as cargo 135 tons or 140. I think it might actually be 140. Either 135 or 140. I can't remember which one. But it can carry a massive amount. Versus your heavy Battletech recovery vehicles, which, while they're 70 tons, they don't have a resting hoist or anything like that. So they can just carry about 30% more as cargo. So they can drag 70 or they can carry, it's like 90 tons. So these bad boys, always worth the money, in my opinion. 100%. Kind of thinking we just get a couple of mech busters for funsies. I know that would make a couple of people happy out there. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll be fine. Ooh. Do we want a short, fast, and very violent diversionary raid? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, that's hard to say no to. That is so hard to say no to. 100% transport coverage, 80% salvage rights, 100% straight support. The only thing that would be better is if we had like a bunch of battle loss compensation. That would be super ideal. And we've got elite allies against regular enemies. I think that would be fine. And we would need 21 elements of some flavor. So we've got 4, 8, 12, plus the 2 tanks, puts us at 14, 18, and 22. Oof, that is actually pretty tight. I think I might pass on it. I think I might give it a month, maybe 2, and then we see what happens. It kind of hurts me to say that. Okay, let's go forward a month. Every time I see this pop up, it makes me giggle. What was you're not wrong. Uh that is a sacrifice that I'm willing to make, and they are not the last of the clans. All right, so we lost a couple more vehicle crew, unfortunately. Plus, you know what's going to happen if I go against the clans right now? I will instantly die. Instantly. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. I appreciate the temptation. I'm just going to say no for now. Which one is that? Orion K, number 2. Let's swap out for just some normal AC10. Cool. There's that. Take a look at the personnel market again. Can never have enough HR. Let's jump over to our techs. I haven't looked at them in a while. Something tells me somebody can get trained. Okay. Cool. All right. Good deal. Looks like we got a couple more veteran mechanics and mechs or techs, which will be really nice. Let's just make sure that everybody is the right rank. Cool beans. There's that. And then let's go over to the admins and see if anybody here can do the things. Then medical staff. I should make you a captain. Okay. I think that's everything we have to do with those folks. All right, do any of these dudes have anything like leadership or strategy? That'll work. And then for our soldiers, why do none of the soldiers have anything like strategy or leadership or tactics or anything like that? Wow. Okay. Well, you are now an officer. Congratulations. You are now an officer. Congratulations. Very, very few of them. All of the ones who have anything are being promoted to being officers now, except for the privates, because just no, I'm not doing that to them. Although, darn it, they're actually not terrible leaders. Anyways, whatever. I've got 3 officers. Well, actually, make both of those senior. I'll make these Lieutenant JG. That'll give us some redundancy. And it'll be fine. Yeah, you know. Although, I mean, in fairness, if you come into the Army and you go straight into OCS, that's essentially what you do, is you come in as a private, like an E1 fuzzy, you go through OCS, and then you get commissioned as a second lieutenant. Or you can go through ROTC, and then you are literally nothing. You don't exist, and then suddenly you exist as a lieutenant. Okay. Oof, that took a while. And we got no contracts. That's unfortunate. That's fine. I'm actually not super sad about that. right, we'll go ahead and go another month. Ah, wait, what? Hold on. The recent failure of Billion Brigade, a fully bonded unit under the Mercenary Review and Bonding Commission (MRBC), has reignited a firestorm of scrutiny, not just over the reliability of the unit itself, but over the legitimacy of the MRBC's role as an impartial regulatory body, especially when, as critics pointed out, it's backed out and influenced by one of the largest mercenary commands in history, Wolf's Dragoons. Billion Brigade, led by Captain Johann Lindfors, was contracted for a boilerplate assignment. Despite clear deliverables and favorable conditions, the unit failed to hold the line, suffered losses, and retreated, leaving their employer exposed to material damage and reputational fallout. Yet despite this performance, the MRBC maintained their certification without sanction, fine, or even formal inquiry. Quote, if a House unit had failed this badly, someone would be answering to a tribunal, end quote, said a legal advisor to a prominent trade barony. Quote, but Mercs, the MRBC just stamps unfortunate outcome and moves on. At the heart of the criticism is the MRBC's deep operational and historical ties to the Wolf's Dragoons, the famed mercenary outfit whose name still echoes across the inner sphere. Though the Dragoons publicly withdrew from the direct governance of the MRBC, their shadow looms large. Staffed leadership, strategic assets, and political influence remain tightly wound in the organization structure. In theory, the MRBC exists to ensure trust between mercenary forces and their employers. In practice, that trust increasingly looks one-sided. Employers risk millions in equipment and lives based on MRBC guarantees, while contracted units like Billion Brigade can fall short of objectives and walk away with their certifications intact. Quote, you can't have a mercenary-led institution regulating other mercenaries and pretend it's neutral, said a former employer who requested anonymity. It's like letting a casino write the rules on gambling fairness. As mercenary warfare becomes more complex and high risk, employers are beginning to ask a harder question. Can a regulatory body founded and influenced by mercenaries ever truly prioritize the need of clients over the protection of its own? Or will units like Billion Brigade continue to fail upward, shielded by a system more for internal loyalty than external accountability? For now, the MRBC remains the gold standard for mercenary oversight, but with each incident like Billion Brigade's defeat, that gold looks more like paint, and the sphere's trust in the system peels with it. Oof. Man, that is rough. That's super rough. Apparently, people don't like us. I don't know why. Look, there was the one contract where things went sideways and we bailed. It was one contract, the one, and they never let us hear the end of it. Come on. There we go. Okay. Well, all of our ground crews and soldiers and things like that are leaving, which is less than ideal. Oh, get the those pop-ups that were hard to get. Yeah. The entire development team just over the last 1 to 2 years has done such a phenomenal job of introducing new things to the game in a very tasteful way, while also making sure that they are sticking to the rules of Battletech. I mean, the Bonding Commission thinks I'm doing fine. They increased my regard by 0.6. So obviously they think I'm doing fine. think I need to go out and kill somebody. Also, while I'm thinking of it, because I almost forgot. So, I am going to make any of the people who are named after subscribers. Okay, cool. Founder. And if I remember correctly, I have the option for founders never leave. There it is. Center operations. I always forget where this is. But it's the option for like essentially founders never go away or founders are never lost. HR turnover. Was I looking right at it the whole time? Oh, yep, I was looking at it the whole time. Okay, cool. So no, founders don't go away. And then vehicle crews. Yeah, that might be what it was. Zenith, have a great night. Thanks for joining, man. Have a great day at work. There it is. Flags. Founder. There we go. Okay, cool. We are in a good spot now. And contract market. Would you look at that? Okay, now this cadre duty would be totally fine. They're green. Everybody is green. That would be fine. I'm going to stick with the 60% salvage, I think. So a 9-month contract for some cadre duty with green forces. That is fine. That is totally fine. I think that we can make this work without too much of a problem. Okay. I think that this contract is one that we could take without being super sad about it. So why don't we go ahead and take this one? Because I don't want to do a planetary assault. Although going against green forces would be fine. Oh, but then you do that. Oh. Kind of want to do one cadre duty so that I can get all of those green mech warriors to be at least regular. And then that'll let me put together a couple more lances so that then I can more happily do a planetary assault or something like that without worrying too much. I think I'll go ahead and do this one. So why don't we go ahead and accept you? Understood. Very well. Good deal. Gross. It'll cost us 7.5 million C-bills because, of course, it will. All right, and it will take us 59 days to get there. Before we leave, let's go ahead and grab all the soldiers and ground crew that we can. Don't need any more doctors. Don't need mechanics or mech warriors or mech techs. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and we'll advance the 59 days. And while it's advancing, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Oh, good. They had a baby. One day it'll get done. Takes a lot of work to advance 2 months. There we go. And now we can inoculate all of our peoples. Maybe. Maybe. There we go. All right. And so we need some cadre out there. So Alpha can be cadre, Bravo can be cadre. And we can also do actually, we can bring, oh, it's interesting. Okay, there we go. So we've got our recon lances, we've got some auxiliaries. Tango Lance is doing this training thing. So I think that we explore a couple of hexes, and then it's been about 3 hours, so we'll probably call it here in just a minute. All right, 42 days, and that Marauder will hopefully be done. Oh, good. More employee turnovers. Ooh. Yeah, all of my veterans and elite people are leaving, and I don't like it. Oh, hey, look, a galleon light tank. Isn't that nice? Oop. All right. And doing all of those fun things. Go over to those happy dandy little soldiers. Okay, then. Well, there's that. let's see really quick. Can anybody else do training? No, it would probably almost be this one? That I am ashamed to say I got from AI. ChatGPT gave me my logo. I told it I wanted a logo uh in an SVG format with like two B's and a sword going vertically over the background of a shield. And this is what it gave me. And I really liked it. And then I just essentially took a screenshot of it. And to get that into your thingamabobber so that it can actually be seen, it should just be. I always have to remember, actually. Yeah. Okay. So it once you're in your MekHQ folder, you go to data, and then from data, you should go to images, units. Uh-oh. Billion. No, not that one. Data, images. Sorry, not units. Data, images, force, units. And then you just put it in here. Once you've put your image in here, then you go to your campaign options. And when you want to click your unit insignia, you just hit refresh directory and then it should pop up. It just has to be like a JPEG or something like that. Let's take a look. Okay, so the mash truck is missing a driver. That makes a difference. Hmm, that's weird. Oh, there we go. Hey, look, now everything works the way it's supposed to. Are there any more mash trucks for sale, by the way? That's a big negative. Okay, let's try advancing a day again. No. All right, let's do a little bit more exploring, and then we'll call it good probably. Oh, terrible rolls. Holy cow. That was what? Yeah, 3 failed rolls all in a row. Oof. Okay. All right. So we have a turning point, a regular force suppression that honestly won't be bad at all. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Seems like the kind of contract where I need to put all my green people out there to see what they can do. And I might do exactly that. But that will be something for next time. So we will read through this, get people deployed, and continue exploring and seeing how we do with this cadre duty next time. The next stream will be coming to you guys on Saturday. I will be living the single parent life through the weekend. But as soon as I get my daughter put down to bed, then I should be able to stream without too much of a problem on Saturday. So until then, that's pretty much what I got for you. For Realsy Reels, I will be trying to put out another tutorial video sometime in the next day or two, if I can. We'll see what happens. And then I start back at work again on Monday of next week, working days, so I should still be able to stream at least a couple times next week. But I hope that you guys have a great rest of the week. Tomorrow is Friday, so I hope that you have a wonderful Friday, and we will catch you next time. Take care. Have a wonderful night.